think that obviously Vertigo is going to start playing differently.
Yeah, and that alternate attacks game, by the way, is something we'll mention again. They were actually pretty in the lead. I think at one point, like 7-1 or something, and alternate attacks made a crazy comeback in that matchup. But that's in the future, or in the past, I suppose, depending on the way you look at it. Endpoint, in the meanwhile, going to be on the CT side, occupying with the CZ on Thomas. This is a gun he likes to pick up in pistols. I remember him doing it on Inferno CT side over on B behind the close boxes. Maybe that's something we'll get to see if we do go the full distance. But some aggression being shown from Endpoint as the aforementioned CZ is being played up close on short pipe.
Great for Endpoint to have this type of map control on the CT side. Gets them that added bit of information, and they have a very quick rotation with that stack inside connector side, so they have a lot of flexibility and a lot of space, and Thomas will crack off into the alley right away. Kyler trying to do his best here to deal with the swarm of CTs that are here in front of him. That's going to be reinforced as Robin opens the door. He catches the stairs push as well, but we had a good response from AVEZ. They've gotten a couple of kills, and they've actually taken an advantage back in all of this.
They have, at the cost of Kyler's health, he's down to 5 HP, but they're going to decide to still hit B. They're just mixing up their angle of approach. Instead of pushing out to short, where there could be players up close and get a quick spray from the likes of Thomas, they have heard the CZ ring out earlier. They're going to be running into that very gun right now, and that spray not going to be claiming more than one kill. He goes down trying to reload. It does take an age to reload the CZ, and this leaves Mighty Max in a 1v2. Does have a kit, does have a flashbang, and did a bit of damage through the smoke to Norok and Marcos. Actually wasn't far off killing both of them. But now that they've missed their chance, perhaps, Endpoint, he's going to have to traipse his way onto the site where they're both going to line up for him. And the Poles will claim first blood on Overpass.
I think it just really came down to that exchange that took place inside the connector. It felt like there was an opportunity for Endpoint to really capitalize on having their numbers really well focused in that location and having the information to short B push, and even the initial pick that Thomas was able to get on the B site. On top of, I think Robin had also caught one on the stairwell, so it seemed like there was definitely some chances, and for whatever reason, just still didn't go their way. And now they have to deal with the MAC-10s that look like they're going to be barreling into this B-bomb site, and Key has already found first blood there on the Surreal very quickly. Thomas, nice response with the Deagle, though. Keeps it even on this little Deagle scout buy-up.
The freebie of a kill. Thomas pushes into the MAC-10 range, and Kai will not miss out close range. He's keeping them interested over in B as well. It's going to be slow and steady. They know the Endpoint have gone for a force. They're going to have Deagles and a scout. And while the cross comes out, he's just been dispatched by Crucial. 3v3, but AVEZ now going to regroup and look to try and hit A site. They do still have an AK in their hands, which is a huge power play.
Yeah, that's going to have to be the raid boss in this situation. But Robin, he's found the scout headshot from Optimus. He is just holding them up big time. It's allowing Crucial to ninja his way into the site. He's gotten the bomb down. Now it's all on that AK Vince.
Yeah, Marco is taking serious damage. He's going to be moving out into the open, and there's the Deagle from Crucial. Endpoint do hold the line. They keep 3 players alive, and they upgrade a couple guns. That is a brutal outcome for AVEZ.
Oh, yeah, that's that lower gut pain that you get sometimes where it just makes you feel sick to your stomach. That's the kind of rounds that you feel like you really should be realizing on, but just getting picked apart, maybe being a bit spread too thin. It is spacing just a tad off. You gave a lot of 1v1 duels to those Eagles, and if they're accurate, they're going to give you trouble. AVEZ forced right back up with their own deco. They still have an AK as well on Narot. Those having out. Taking a bit of damage, but able to get back.
Endpoint have been in a bit of a strange situation recently in terms of very topsy-turvy results. Sure, they got beat by Complexity 2-0, and in both maps they got pretty manhandled, but Complexity are a very good team, understandably. So I think AVEZ, some people think they've got a chance here, but if they're gonna convert on that promise, it has to be in rounds like this. And Norrot comes out spieling with the AK. 2 kills, nearly bagging himself a third, although barely did damage to Thomas, but his crosshair wasn't far off the head. And now a 3v3, we'll see Surreal pushing towards Connector, where he finds Kyler and nearly dispatches of him. Kyler surviving by a thread on 2 HP.
Not only the damage, but also the information that's being gained from Surreal. Yeah, sure, he has to wonder, maybe they might have ninja'd past me through Monster, but otherwise, they're able to kind of focus up on that mid defense at the A side. But as I say that in time ticking, AVEZ As a call, a bit of an audible here. They're going to be rotating back all the way through T-spawn to Monster. Again, Surreal is still on location. He never did make the rotation to the A side, so he will be able to detect this and call for the rotation. It's all about how much damage can he do before they swarm him.
Some flashes and smokes being deployed. 15 seconds to go. AVEZ in hot pursuit to the site. Plenty of damage to Bialy, who comes out swinging with the AK. Going to get the bomb plant in amongst the smoke. It's 2 MP9s. Firepower-wise, it's not looking good for Endpoint, but they're going to capitalize. Knowing that Bialy was fully committed to the bomb plant, effectively made it a 2v1 for a couple of moments. And they're going to capitalize on that. They're going to trade up to the weapons. And a 4K for Thomas, who moves on to 7 kills in just the third round. Endpoint will have a 2-1 lead.
They will. Where the economy is going to get in a rough place for AVEZ. You know, they tried to buy back into that when it didn't work out, so you would think this is where they are going to have to tap out. As I said, though, they're going for Mac 10 armor. They're getting a Tech 9 on key. They are buying everything that they possibly can, and the only thing I can think is because that they force so much rebuying that they still want to chase after that dangling carrot, Vince.
Well, it makes sense. If you can break the economy early, then it can be a very scary point for Endpoint. But if they do concede this, AVEZ, things could go bad real quick, and it's looking like they're going to run into a complete close line with the M4 and MP9 spraying them down with the AK, and it's all over. AVEZ not even going to perch up a bomb plant. They've been completely repelled.
And the only thing that they really got out of that they could maybe be okay with is maybe a couple of Mac 10 kills, but other than that, it's wasn't really a good enough effort, was it? This is allowing Endpoint just to gain more and more traction, not only on the scoreboard, but the economic situation's really coming into fruition for them. AVEZ, again, we'll buy into this a little bit here. AK will be passed to Bialy, the one man who did get armor. Have a couple of Deagles and a Tech 9. Aggressive at Monster. This is really going to suffocate AVEZ.
Yeah, I love this aggression from Endpoint. They've got 2 players pushing up through Monster. They know this is likely to be an A hit or potentially connector. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of time left in the round, so a re-rotation could come in. It's not going to be the case. AVEZ pressing go on this A attention and aggression. And they're giving the CTs a little bit to think about, but it has been subsided by and large. Bialy with the AK. Going to get his head taken clean off from Crucial's AWP from Bank, and it's another round to add to the mix. However, AVEZ will have their first very healthy full purchase in effect with full AKs.
That was just great defense from Endpoint. As you said, getting aggressive, getting Monster, getting that B side information. They also had to push out long A so they could just really, have good crossfire positions to deal with that A-bomb site press from AVEZ. And it was a weaker one. They did not have the resources, but now they finally do. I would say their utility's still a little bit limited, so it's still not fully ideal, but at least they have pretty much everything that they could want firepower-wise. We'll just kind of slow down into a default spread. The problem is Crucial has pushed deep through long A, and that could be a problem.
Oh yeah, we're already seeing the Endpoint are not afraid to go up for these early info gathering missions, and they haven't been punished just yet. Crucial now dipping back, realizing that Bathroom could be under control. He could be sideswiped. From our perspective, we can see that AVEZ very passive on the approach this time. They're going to be taking quite a while before they take any real map control. They've got Connector. That's about it, though. No one long, just starting to move into Bathrooms now, and that smoke is going to afford them a bit of passageway, but they line up, and Crucial gonna get a 2-for-1, and that one shot has just put AVEZ completely on the back foot.
Oh, it absolutely has. You're seeing Kyler try to respond on this jumping CT at the wall of B, but it's not going to be enough damage, and I think what you're seeing here is AVEZ has been conditioned to be expecting that aggression from Endpoint, so they're taking things a lot slower pace, a lot more cautious, and all that does is kind of exacerbate the problem. It gives Endpoint even more freedom to get these forward positions, be able to feel comfortable with their aggression. As you can see there, obviously a bit lucky he got the lineup, but still just a nice shot, and now it's going to be the cleanup duties taking place on B, it seems. No real damage even dealt from the AVEZ side in this round. Their first full buy gets them absolutely nothing, not even a rebuy out of Endpoint, whose economy is now swelling. It's a really rough start right now for AVEZ.
Oh yeah, that's a horrific outcome, because at least in the previous rounds when they had Mac 10s, you get force sport, you facepalm it, you think whatever, it's still early days. Even those Mac 10 purchases, they were getting a couple kills. They got completely barricaded there. There was no way in. Everywhere they pushed, they got shut down. Crucial, that 2-for-1 was huge. But that's as a result of them playing so passive at the start of the round. So I'm curious to see if AVEZ are going to mix up the pace when they have their next rifles in play.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be something eye on, as once again, Endpoint were able to press really deep towards Fountain and kind of slow AVEZ down very early. Key, what a 1D there onto Mighty Max. You do love to see that if you're a fan of AVEZ. Crucial, at least able to immediately respond over at Long A, and Reels caught one towards Monster as well. So whatever damage or advantage AVEZ had hoped to gain from that key pick is now all but been erased.
Yeah, good utility as well from Endpoint. They're staggering this and they're pushing AVEZ back. It's been a consistent theme of this map thus far. So Norrot going to be pushing through Monster. Nearly takes the kill down onto Surreal. 16 HP left. And they're going to keep 4. So now the economy for Endpoint is just getting into a position that is going to be very terrifying for AVEZ to deal with. You're looking at a couple of buys regardless of what happens.
They actually have enough money to pay off my student loans at this point, Ben. I mean, it's getting pretty crazy high, you know. So definitely AVEZ need to find gold here. I feel like this is the round they must win, otherwise they could really get out of control. You have, you know, good utility. This is the best spot they've had all game, that's for certain. They are trying to pick up the pace a bit, at least when it comes to short B control.
Yeah, they are, but they don't have connector control, Dust. So at any point they know they could get pushed and pinched from connector. And as a result, they're basically stuck on short, and that's where the grenades are going to do that much more damage. Plenty has been inflicted, though, from AVEZ onto Mighty Max, but Kyle is feeling it. Marcos is feeling it as well. An early trade, though, one of the better starts that AVEZ have had in recent memory.
And they actually were able to catch Crucial inside connector and not fall prey to the AWP. So this allows them to kind of have the knowledge that, hey, we probably have some free access towards A side, and they're taking it right now. They are running up long right now. Crucial has to rotate back to A site, and Endpoint retakes short B late, but that's a hell of a shot from Marcos to unlock the A site, which is now completely vulnerable in this 3 versus 3. That bomb surely gets planted, but Endpoint, plenty of ability to go for this retake, though the utility's not really there, Vince. It's going to come down mostly the duels.
Yeah, but Robin could get the upper hand from Banku. He's being slowly peaked. The timing in favor of Endpoint, and Thomas with a double spray on the AK. They lined up for him. No one was watching Dumpster. That is such a catastrophic mistake to make when you're already 6-1 behind, and now it's easy pickings for Mighty Max. AVEZ, really, if they want to get back into this match, those are the rounds they've got to win.
And that's so tough. I mean, it just comes down to Endpoint going for that, like, you know, late timing, you know, short B to catch that kill in connector. Is doing a bit of a buddy system. AVEZ being spread thin while Endpoint's just using really good team play to go for these off-timing aggressions, which kind of adds to the fact that they're already playing really forward early. So it just feels like AVEZ are getting overwhelmed. They don't really know what to do. They've been thrown in turbulent waters, and they need some type of life raft thrown their direction. I'm not sure that's in the form of a timeout, some help from a coach, or what it might be, but something's got to change here soon. Otherwise, this could be a really disgusting scoreline.
Well, I mean, they need to create a bounty on Thomas's head, because right now the guy is balling out of control. 14 kills, 2 assists, and he's on 150 ADR, and it could be a ton more because he's in the perfect position to fend this off. Big grenade goes through first, softens up all the targets. AVEZ counter flash multiple times, now going to be sprayed down from multiple angles. Norrot still alive with a deagle, doing a lot of damage. It's a really nice try, and you can at least admire the aggression that AVEZ showed, but it's still not going to be enough to dethrone Endpoint.
Goodness, man. It's now 8 rounds in a row for Endpoint, and they have survived with 3 or more players for 7 of those 8 victories. So it just means there's never going to be an easy round for AVEZ. There's so much economy left on Endpoint. And they also have the confidence that they're winning these rounds that they never really even get close. We've had a couple of 3-on-3 situations that you thought maybe AVEZ might be able to come up with. But other than that, it has been absolute domination from Endpoint. AVEZ back onto the full buy, though, and this needs to be their round, Vince. Otherwise, I think this might wash.
No, for sure. They've got 18 kills collectively. Thomas has 15, and we're in round 10. So it goes to show, one, why Endpoint's economy is so damn good right now, because AVEZ are averaging less than 2 kills per round. And additionally, how easy this has been for Endpoint to get in positions, pull the strings, and effectively force AVEZ back. They're constantly throwing a Molotov towards T-Ramp. That has to be smoked off. This is vital utility that's being choked out from AVEZ right off the bat. And they're not playing aggro behind it. I'm curious if we are going to see a straight-up B rush at some stage, because at least then that would make Endpoint respect that that's a possibility.
Sure. I think the other scary thing about this, Vince, if you kind of just look at some more supplemental information, is that this is one of the maps that AVEZ are actually supposed to be more well-versed on when you look at recent months. And so for them to get torn up this badly on a map that, in theory, they should be comfortable with, really does just kind of picture even more about how tough this has really been on them. And they've already lost a player here as they've been trying to go for some type of B-gather play, but they've just been sitting outside for so long, and they've already been picked apart a little bit before they could even get their utility out on the site. Now they're going to go for it.
Yeah, time is pretty scarce, so they can expect there's going to be a crossfire established. You can see Robin peeking out, keeping their attention, but Bialy is mowing them down, and there's Kyler. A round that probably shouldn't be going the way of AVEZ, but they've made it work somehow, some way. And Robin, the last man standing, going to try and deny the bomb plant. He can't do that, and that was probably his last line. That could have been tossed out to him. 10 HP. He wants to go back and save if he can this AK-47, but AVEZ going to get their first round since the pistol. That was 8 rounds in a row for Endpoint, but at least AVEZ are coming back. Hopefully, they can get some consistency, though.
I mean, even there, I never really thought for sure they were going to win that, just because of that connector flank that was coming in through short. I thought that maybe there could be a trade back, and then AVEZ would be in a tough spot again. It really was just Bialy who broke through with 2 huge kills, and towards the latter part of the round that I really feel turned the tides. That's when you know that AVEZ actually could do it. The stand-in, couple of big frags, what changes things. Is this something that AVEZ can build off of? You kind of already mentioned it. Like, is there a way they can consistently put rounds on the board? Because they need a hell of a lot more out of this half to be competitive. Not going to do one round here and there. Not anymore.
Absolutely. And they'll know this too. There'll be a lot of pressure in this round right now, not only because they need to start purchasing up some rounds to get themselves back into this, but additionally to cut down some of the economy for Endpoint, to at least allow them the chance of maybe resetting. You know, 8-2 looks really bleak, but if you can pull off 5 or 6 rounds from this point, it's actually not a bad half, and that's what they've got to hold on to.
They can at least keep Endpoint off double digits. I think that would do wonders for their mentality as well as their, abilities to have some wiggle room. But again, AVEZ continue to have these really passive openings where they're not really making much forward progress until, 30, 40 seconds deep into the round. So they're now going for a little bit of bathrooms control through long. There is a bit of a setup here between Robin and Crucial on the opposing side, which has left A site a bit open from the long angle, but now we do see Thomas making that rotation onto the site. So it's really come down to whether or not this pick finds anything. The bomb, Kyler's just kind of waiting to see what happens with this long A control.
The timing of that smoke into the Molotov, extinguishing it. Molly's going to be tossed to the back of the site. That forces Thomas away, takes a little bit of damage, but still having 2 players in bathroom is going to lock down A. But it looks as though the bomb will be ending on the B site. Another smoke's been deployed, and there's still a bit of utility that Endpoint have.
It really comes down to what can Nalrot do with this. He has this kind of lurk going on at A, and, well, that answers my question, Vince. It's not going to be play at all. And now, Endpoint, I think, knows exactly what's up. And it's going to be so hard now for AVEZ to force their way through this.
Yeah, the trades are just too good. Endpoint could afford to stack players, but won it once more. Kyler imposing his will outside of short, leaving Bialy 1 on 3. First kill goes his way. Narrowly surviving on 5 HP. Does he feasibly have the HP? Does he feasibly have the time? 3 seconds to go. Going to be planting, drawing that last player out. Bialy, that is such a heroic effort. It keeps the economy a little bit downturned, but realistically, that's not going to be good enough for AVEZ. They needed to win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely they did. Thomas catching that lurk, I have to tell you, that has so much impact, because I can't tell you how much of a disturbance Nalrot could have caused, which would have forced Surreal to respect his backside a bit more in that meta, giving them a little bit more of an ease of access through monster side, but instead not going to be the case. We are going to see a timeout come in play. This is the first one. It's come late, Vince. I am surprised that AVEZ have taken this long to put a pause on things. Now they've been left really with no choice. I feel like they've run out of ideas. They're far out of their comfort zone. I'm not even sure what the adjustment could be at this point. Certainly going for something faster paced feels like always a go-to when you've been playing so slow most of the game, but at the same time, with how aggressive Endpoint have played and how they've played some of these stacks, you're gambling on what if I run into that right away, and then it's just like a quick round, it's over. That does even more damage mentality. So it's hard to pull the trigger on a call like that, the way things have played out so far.
Oh, yeah, especially when your confidence is probably pretty low anyway. Can you feasibly go for one of those calls that could just straight up lose you this half and potentially, well, they're already losing the half, but lose it even worse and potentially the entire map? This is where I think players like Bialy, with his experience, he's going to need to take a couple of these players under his wing and try and, wake them up a little bit or tell them that it's not over yet. It's never over to the 16th round. We've seen this so many times in the Blast Rising tournament thus where, like, players will just come out of nowhere, teams will come out of nowhere and somehow pull it back. The aggression is good for Crucial, but it is going to be counter-fragged. 1-for-1, this is a really good result for AVEZ this early in the round.
Yeah, really good synchronization of those flashbangs. It put Mighty Max in no man's land. He was absolutely ruined. Crucial at least able to get away with that op, and 40 of his HP left to still be in play with the sniper here as Key and company trying to see if they can get some more headway into this B bomb site here, and indeed they are finding some pretty solid entries. It's only 2 CTs left. I think they might have this one.
Oh, Robin's still standing though. 2 kills to his name, 22 HP left. The bomb is still dropped back towards the T side of Monster, but over a minute to play with. So you feel like the two of them should be able to shut this down. If you can separate it into 2 1v1s, maybe there's a way forward, but they've seen him in heaven now. So he's going to get peeked from the AWP of Marcos, and if he over peeks, he will certainly get fragged. Bomb plant in amongst it. Now turns the attention and the emphasis back onto Robin. And now we go. It's going to be a fairly straightforward kill to end things off. So at least AVEZ, they're going to end the half with a little bit of bite.
Yeah, but not sure if it's going to be a full clamp down or if it's just going to be a little nibble, Vince. They still need, I think, to win out the half to feel like they have something to work with. If you let Endpoint get double digits and have done so comfortably, I think it's going to be really hard to come back from that. Really good job, though. Just, finally winning a couple of 1v1 heads-up duels that they needed to win. That barrel's clear from short was a big part of it. But here's the aggression again, Vince. This time, though, it's been punished. Marco's great op pick there onto Robin. Finally being able to get a little bit of breathing room early in a round.
Should be a free kill here for Thomas as well. You could see they went for a very aggressive mid stack, so he knew his back was covered because Crucial is still near the balloons, if I can speak English. And actually, he might go unchecked as well. He doesn't go checked. He at least gets traded back.
So kind of a weird way to get to an early 3 versus 3. Just the positioning got a bit awkward there for both sides, but it's going to be AVEZ who are a little bit better off here as they actually have a full, bought out squad while you have a Deagle and an MP9 in play for Endpoint. So it's going to limit their capabilities a little bit at the very least. And they've decided to leave B wide open, which you can totally understand. When you're in a situation like this, you kind of have to gamble a bit. At least they can maybe try to retake together, though there is no kit in play. As AVEZ, slowly figures out that B is wide open, unless Endpoint are able to backstab and get into short B and kind of get the intel, which it seems like they might be able to do. This is going to be interesting, Fitz. I think AVEZ might have missed their timing window.
It's going to be very close. They still need to cover the likes of barrels, water. They need to check all these angles because one of those positions goes unchecked with this amount of time. It's the round done. And because they've been slow, it's now allowing the likes of the Mighty Max to come through short, but he misses his chance. Only with the MP9, the bomb is going to go down. AK frag through the Molotov. Thomas down to 12, but still alive. I'm going to keep that emphasis felt from short. Comes down to Bialy. Both players almost identical HP. Next bullet pretty much sums up this round. Bialy knows the bomb's not planted for him, has to run out into the open, and there's Thomas. He will be clutching. He has enough time. And Endpoint will move to 10 rounds.
A really tough one. I mean, obviously, AVEZ can't know what we know, and that Endpoint was like pushing all the rest of the maps. They knew it was going to be B, and AVEZ just waiting outside Monster for so long. Maybe just hoping that someone from Endpoint would get aggressive in the 3-on-3, that they could get a free kill, have a 3-on-2, feel more confident that they had the B bomb site access. And they eventually did get in there and get the kill they needed. Mighty Max kind of went in first to kind of sacrifice himself, and it gave AVEZ a slight advantage, but Thomas had different ideas. A hell of a game. He's had 20 kills already. So much impact. Now AVEZ, towards the end of the half, still can't even get a full buyout. 2 MAC-10s have to come into play.
Yeah, but Robin is playing so aggressively. Like, he got her jumping up and down. Marcos knew that he was pushing that. And not for the first time. I mean, didn't AVEZ get the first pick in the last round? Almost an identical position?
I think I know what you're talking about. I think it was a couple of rounds ago. Yeah, someone tried to push into the playground. I got caught. Absolutely. That's like a whole new level of aggression where Robin's just literally full sprinting through the playground with really no support system behind him, no pop flash, anything like that. So he really was taking a huge risk there. And I almost do wonder if at this point, Endpoint are trying to figure out, well, how much can we really get away with? Like, it feels like everything that they've done has been the Midas touch. So that time, though, they got caught.
Yeah, this is maybe where, hubris starts to play a little bit too much of a point, and they need to rein it in a little bit because they have a really good chance here. And they still could win this round, of course.
Sure.
It's still, as you highlighted, 2 Mac 10s, not ideal, but they could easily take this half 12-3. And at that point, they've pretty much put this one to bed. So making mistakes like that, especially if they do them in vertigo, they can come back to bite them on the rear end. Still a good setup. It's going to be another B hit. And look at Endpoint has stacked it. They're going to be walking into an absolute trap. It's going to be a massacre. Mighty Max and Surreal both come in, but there's Bialy with 2. He's actually turning this one back around in the favor of AVEZ, and suddenly it's only Crucial that stands. They've pulled it off. They walk into the 4-player stack, and they still come out triumphant.
Yeah, it's Bialy, you feel like, is the one that has the impact. He had another big double entry frag on the other round that they won on that B-bomb site. And he's done it yet again. Up to 12, leading the team right now from the stand-in position. Only one close to not being horribly negative on the KD right now. And funnily enough, we're in the final round of the half, and Endpoint actually did finally run out of money after AVEZ were able to win 3 of the last 5. It's been back and forth, and Endpoint will have to settle on mostly Deagles finish off this half. But already having 10 rounds in the bag, I think anything else is kind of bonus.
Absolutely, yeah. Can't really agree more with you on that statement. So Endpoint will be looking to see if they can extend it, but AVEZ will be feeling pretty good about a 5th round after those 2 opening picks. Bialy has been the player to really watch out for. I think a lot of people are expecting that to be the case anyway. That 1 deke from Mighty Max, very spicy. Looking to try and add another one. Key needs to make sure he doesn't over-peak this because AVEZ still have the player advantage and still should be favorites to take this round. Don't give Endpoint a chance to get back into this one.
Going a little bit of misdirection here with these smokes over at the A side. It's kept these 2 players firmly in place. Now all on Surreal, that monster, but he manages to find one. So 2-on-3 is going to be in play here at the B bomb site. The bomb will certainly make its way in and plant. That shouldn't really be the problem. The problem will be holding off this retake. Pure firepower, though, Vince. They already have 1 frag to their name. All on Thomas now. Is trying to damn this, but there's only so much one man can do. Still a huge half for him as a player and a great side overall for Endpoint to get 10. That 8-round stretch at the beginning of the half was just so brutal to follow.
I mean, he really has been a tank, a tiger tank, if you will. 21 kills. The amount of firepower that he has shown, the amount of positions, the aggression that he's shown as well, has been very entertaining to watch. He finishes the first half on 136 ADR. It's not as if he's been cleaning up all these kills. He's got 5 assists to those 21 frags. The guy's been putting in a shift.
Are going to see them really focus here on Glock armor. Only 1 player forgoes it. It's going to be Mighty Max to get the smoke and 2 flashes. Big push, though, from Marcos at long A to get some information, but big entries right away from Thomas, the man in question, or not really in question, man we were praising, is now going to get even more accolades here for this game. All right, a great little response, but Thomas is just not done yet, Vince.
Nah, he has the bloodlust, and it's not been quenched just yet. He wants a few more kills before this map is done. 3 more to his name. Both players have been softened up, but Marcos in a 1v2 doesn't have a kit. There may be one laid around somewhere, but no grenades on top of it. There we go. There is a kit just ahead of him, so he can actually stick on this bomb, and if he does this, he's going to get the full defuse. He's going to get the full defuse here. They're not going to be checking from short. He's pulled it off. Oh, the audacity. The temerity to go for the full defuse, knowing his chances were slim, and to pull it off. That's got to be a punch right to the lower abdomen area for Endpoint. Jesus.
Your Endpoint, you gotta be scratching your head. How the hell do we lose that? Like, surely, knowing where that bomb was planted, they need to have better post-plant positioning. You can't be letting that slip under your nose like that. So, while we want to give praise to, the stones on the man to hold the defuse, you also have to give some critique to Endpoint to not have a bit better coverage. Surely, there's a chance that 1 kit's out there. That is a real fumble, especially all the work Thomas did.
Yeah, that's just mad, isn't it? You think at least 1 player checks it, but they've got to put that into the back of their minds and think, look, we've still been playing better individually. We can still pull this off. They've got such a good buy as well with plenty of rifles. and they've locked down the SMGs and connector, and they have dealt with both of them. There's going to be another player in here, though. That'll be Norot, who may be walking into the Galil of Surreal, who is still down there, now going to show his hand. Norot should be living on borrowed time. There's a smoke, but it's about to dissipate, and so will Norot's life. 2v3, Endpoint have the vast advantage now, as Thomas picks up his 25th kill, and we still got plenty of CS left. Surely he hits a 30 this map.
Does seem to be on pace for it. Going to be hard to deny him that, it feels like, the way he's been playing at this point. You know, obviously that bomb plant, this kind of shows you the way this economy system really can work, where T's lose but got the bomb plant, so they have the better buy than CTs. Seems brilliant, really. Definitely not bitter.
I'll tell you who is bitter, AVEZ. Both rounds, both halves, they win the pistol, they lose the second round. That's happened twice now.
Big rip.
It's got to feel bad. He at least is keeping them honest in this. He's picking up the first kill on the 3-man, but there's Thomas, 26th kill. Jeez, the guy is just balling out of control.
I don't really know what else to add to that, Vince. I feel like we've only can say it so many different ways until we start having to use different languages or something. I don't feel confident doing.
Yeah, it's definitely neither of our fortes, I think it's safe to say.
And I did speak a little bit of German. I had your back covered at a German McDonald's a few years.
True. There should be a gimme. I say that, but AVEZ have actually forced. Losing the first player when you forced, oh my goodness.
It's like the guy can't not get kills at this point. Like, again, like that's just a throwaway spray. He's not thinking he's getting a frag there. And he still gets one. It's like the dude just can't miss. I don't understand.
Maybe like magnetized heads and magnetized bullets. I don't know. As you say, every time he shoots, it seems like he hits. And it's mainly been
access
headshots.
To another buy menu that we weren't aware of or something like.
Yeah, heat-seeking bullets. Thomas has got them all. It is absolutely absurd that he's nearly double anybody else on the server.
147 ADR.
Yep. Well, this force buy quickly went down south very, very quickly, and like I can't even imagine how AVEZ hold the line here. They've got 2 players on A. They've got a couple of deagles in play. Sure, that's great, but can you feasibly deal with the full rifles plus the MAC-10? Doubtful. They're not going to have to stop the bomb plant. That was really their last hope. So yeah, it's going to be 12-6. Maybe try and hold on to these pistols. See if you can take some rifles out of this, maybe with some extra frags. There's one. It's a MAC-10, of course. You hate to see it from Key.
I feel like what people are really hating to see, if you're AVEZ fans, are just this game.
Yeah.
This has been very brutal to watch. It even feels further apart than what the scoreboard indicates. The fashion in which Endpoint win some of these rounds.
Yeah, yeah. Because a couple of their rounds have been off huge moments from Bialy.
Yes.
Or Kyla pushing on B site. And if they don't get those 2 or 3 crazy entries, like you are looking at a 12-3.
I do feel like Bialy basically won 2 rounds by him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely some individual efforts have been kind of the crutch that they've had to use just to get on the board. Does come from it, and AVEZ little to work with in this round. Point, no surprise who they're going for a very heavy B opening. Thomas really does love this position. He's their default monster player, but they do a lot of B plays. You're going to see one of them here again, though it is a huge stack fit, so this could be interesting.
It certainly could. They've got the Deagles and the MAC-10 from the previous save. That grenade to the back of the site. Chonking Kyla takes that on the head. And now they're going to be pushing behind it. 2 kills to open things up. MAC-10 spray, not going to be good for more than just the 1. And hey, at least they've got some kills out of this. Marcos could maybe pull this off, but the Shadow's going to betray him. And Robin, with the AK, sprays him down. Nice effort from AVEZ, but it's not going to be good enough to yield the round.
They did all they could. They were in the right place at the right time, but just couldn't come up with the frags that were required, which understandable. They didn't have the firepower in that situation at all. And you have to feel like this might be one of their only real full buys they get this half, unless they can start stringing some rounds together in a row. So this is really a must-win. If not, they're going to be force buying basically the rest of the game. So this really has to happen. And Endpoint will slow it down. They will go to the default that I was referring to, Thomas outside that monster position, but he peels off really early. So it seems like they're not going to be wasting their time with B at all. It's like they really want to get this Bathrooms control and start pressing onto this A site as possible.
Yeah, you just see the massive gulf in how AVEZ are approaching this right now. They've pretty much left Kyler all by himself on Bathrooms, and maybe he gets the timing push on this. Does take a lot of damage through the wall. He does at least inflict damage across to Robin. It's almost an even trade, actually. And now smoked off, Molotov behind him. He wants that support from Marcos, but that Molotov actually isolates the two of them. So that's something we can watch out for now, because long as being pushed from Endpoint, a flashbang going to be tossed out. They're going to peek behind this, but there's a grenade to greet them. And so Kyler has been picked off, and that opens up mid-control now for Endpoint.
They're trying to get a little bit aggressive here at long in response to try to get that retaliation frag, but Endpoint done a great job really finishing it off. What? I don't even think Thomas was trying to kill Bialy there. I'd have to watch the replay, but I feel like he was spraying that guy up close and happened to just catch Bialy in the back. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did shift his aim. Either way, they have a 4-on-2.
Not for long, because Key's spraying two of them down, and Norrot's still at the back of the site. At least they know where he is, and he peeks back out. He didn't know if Crucial was long or middle. An Endpoint win again. 14-6, and AVEZ in a horrible spot economically. Going to be looking for a half buy, I assume, from Norrot's purchase. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong.
They say it goes from bad to worse. So is there another level to that? Because I feel like that's where we're at right now.
You know, I was going to say bad to worse to UKCS, but actually the boys are doing us proud today, so I don't even want to go that far. I mean, Thomas, UK player, 30 kills, absolutely bossing it, giving us hope. Hope's not something I felt about UKCS for a long time, Dust.
Ends.
I thought I was going to curse him and he just died straight away, of course. Would have been classic memes.
It's like the last one, right? When Easy Skins Vox Minor guys.
Yeah, Easy Skins probably was last time, yeah. Robin slaying with the AK, and Mighty Max helping his teammate out to make sure that Kyler didn't get any more from the round. And it's seemingly like we are going to get onto 9 map points. Best of 3, of course, remember. The format has changed. For those of you that are just joining us, this is the playoffs, the quarterfinal matchup between Endpoint and AVEZ. Next map will be Vertigo. And it's looking like Endpoint will be leading going into that second map, 1-0, unless something miraculous happens from AVEZ.
Another one was Mouse Sports at like the very beginning of CS.
Yeah, I mean UKCS. The weird thing
I
is,
remember they were almost a team that broke Nip's like 87-0 streak. They almost did it. I think they lost to like 14-16. We're like one of the teams that got close to doing. Not of course. But yeah, there's been some history there.
Yeah, it's like an interesting topic, I think, and one that maybe we can ask Mighty Max about if he feels candid enough to speak about it in the after-game interview, assuming they do win it. But in Source, we had a lot of great players.
Dude, Release
1.6 as well. Yeah, so I don't know what happened in Go. I honestly, I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Release was so impressive in Source. I think he even had like a brief stint in... Either way, this could be the final round of Overpass. That quad stat going on, Vince. We got Crucial. He's out there, but no one is giving him a look, it seems.
What was the team that derped this when we were casting them and they failed it and then they missed their chance?
I'm not even going to attempt.
And I think someone fell and took damage. It was an absolute clown fiesta. It may have been Fate, actually.
May have been. I don't.
I do feel like AVEZ have just been like bad luck Brian in this game, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Win pistol rounds, lose the second one. Get exit frags, get a Mac 10. Pick overpass, get absolutely banged. It's like, they just can't catch a break.
Thomas has a heater. Magnetic bullets.
Exactly.
Wasn't my best work with.
Well, I think AVEZ would say this hasn't been their best work today either. The timing on that smoke and Molotov, second time I've seen that today, which is quite strange. But 30 seconds to go as Endpoint are trying to sell a fake over on A. The bulk of the aggression is now moving across to B. And there's nobody watching Monster, so they're going to get up close before any of the CTs realize that they're playing 2 players on short instead. 15 seconds, now the push is coming in. Marcos watching, anticipating that push, gets the kill, but the rest of the action is going down on B. They're going to deny the bomb plant, and that could be more than enough to secure this round. It's going to be really close in that plant. Does he get it in time? Just about. But that AWP shot miss is huge, and now Bjarly comes in with a double spray. If Crucial takes him down, that's probably the round will follow. But Robin still has a bomb to defend, moving around the shadows of short pipe, and he misses his spray. AVEZ live to fight at least one more round.
Really well done there by Bjarly. A couple of big kills. It felt like that op shot that Crucial was going post-plant looked on. It was so close, but just a slight miss there opened the door for AVEZ, and they're able to take advantage of it as they will get that defuse. And as you said, they will live to find another day. It's only their second round of the half. So winning pistol and losing after that. And yeah, we can see Bjarly here with the M4. Couple of nice headshots there. Still a long way to go, though, before I feel like they'll be competitive in this game. Have a lot more to prove.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Based off a very interesting read for AVEZ having 2 players short, no Monster, and almost goading Endpoint into a false sense of security, pushing on the side. Here comes Key, though. Aggression through on short. Thomas has been flashed. That's going to repel him away. Spray up through the smoke and does a bit of damage. It was looking like he could hit another head there, but not quite.
Bad, man. I had so many frags like that out there. But again, good smart play by him to get the heck out of there. That could have been really dangerous, but he's able to live to find another day. But nice pop flash here from Narot, and Bjarly will lead to a big kill onto the man in question. Finally, they're slowing Thomas down. Tank engine is now at the rail yard.
Oh, yes. Very much derailed. Going to need some more maintenance before he spawns back into the next round. Crucial. Peeking through on short. Big kill onto Marcos. Can he double up? Second player is there, which will be Kyler. Looking to pop flash into a bit of safety and security. Just checking long. Has a player coming up in the form of Bjarly from Dumpster, but he gets his head completely caved in. Mighty Max with a crispy headshot. Kyler, though, is staying alive. He may go unchecked. Molotov goes down. The spray's not quite good enough, but they can't chase in either with the molly in their eyes. The bomb should get planted, though, from Mighty Max, so a 3v4 retake with their fast rotations coming in. Norot's going to get one, but his teammate on long of Key has been completely neutralized. And now Endpoint have the player advantage, but here comes the aggression from AVEZ. 2 kills in quick succession, and now the last player standing is Robin on a measly 8 HP. 1 bullet and he's dead. They have a kit, they have the time, and they have the frag. AVEZ will get another one in the books.
It's surprising. It looked like that was going to be the end right there. And Endpoint, we're going to be walking away with over past 16-7, but a couple of quick kills from AVEZ actually give them the 2-on-1 post plant, and they're able to sniff Robin out no problem. So well done. AVEZ are, again, just hanging on. The fingertips are still on the edge of the cliff, still gripping down. And Endpoint actually do have to kind of take a step back in this one. They still will buy up a little bit, but not enough to hamstring themselves for the next round. They'll still get a full buy in round 25, but they've given themselves a chance to, you know, do some damage in this round with these Deagles and the Scout and the Tech 9.
Yeah, I mean, to expand on that analogy, it's like they are dangling off the cliff, but at least got an extra harness plugged in now. You know, they've got a little bit of momentum. They've got a little bit of security in terms of their finances. An Endpoint onto a half buy. So AVEZ could be eyeing up that double-digit mark. Make no mistake, though, they are still certainly looking below them and seeing that vast drop-off the end of Overpass. But at least this is getting into the realms where maybe they can make Endpoint sweat a little bit. Endpoint will be just fine for now. Kyler, with the timing peak, takes off the head of Crucial, has support from his AWPer just behind him. Mighty Max is making moves in bathroom. 2 players going to be funneling Marcos down. That's an AWP that trades hands. That's going to get a little bit dicey. But connector control completely established from AVEZ still.
Gives him a quick flanking option and gives him some intel as well. Op's been spotted also now by Bjarly and done some damage there to Mighty Max. On the shore up long, but again, Bjarly getting that information with the spot from the AP. So it seems like AVEZ are going to be pretty well positioned throughout the course of this situation. It's just about being sure that they can finish off the kills. Already have Mighty Max low. Continues to patrol connector and stabbed.
Okay, those 2 kills are so huge. And now here comes the wraparound. Kyler with the last of the round, 15-9, but we will have another buy coming up from Endpoint. Just as a side note, by the way, Dust, your mic keeps cutting out halfway through sentences, so I don't know if that's on my end or your end. Just a little tip.
You hate to see that.
Hopefully it is going to get resolved, but in the meanwhile, another chance. AVEZ closing the gap slowly, but they're getting there bit by bit. Of course, when you have such a vast lead like this, there does like one mistake, one lapse in error, judgment, or just a great call or read from Endpoint, and it is still done. So AVEZ know that at no point do they feel completely safe in this map.
So hopefully this will help a little bit with the whole microphone situation.
Sounds good to me.
Nice. As we're starting to see AVEZ mount a little bit of a comeback here. Again, I think they need to get to probably 11 or so before Endpoint will start to break a bit of a sweat. I think they still have a lot of wiggle room in all of this as Endpoint now taking their time for probably another B split play. And again, I'm not surprised when I've watched them play Overpass in the past. This has been kind of their bread and butter play, and Thomas has already found one entry, might find a second, no, but Mighty Max will. So a good trade for Endpoint, 2 for 1.
Could be the last play of the entire map. If it continues to go in this fashion, the bomb does get spilled out from Bialy. Good Molotov put down. Robin going to try and plant in amongst the smoke, and will be successful on that plant. In fact, he just decides to delay it a little bit longer. He wants to play this one as safe as possible. Getting peeked from the graffiti area. That is still Bialy moving up. Meanwhile, Marcos in the water. Going to be pressed down. Last player standing with the AWP shot on 2 kills. Actually still putting this in a position where maybe he could win this out. But no, the position is so brutal. And Surreal plays with his food and puts down Marcos and finishes the map. It could have been a lot more one-sided, Dust.